True care, truth means I'll take one lift. You're right, best trip. Always, I know you'll be at my show. Watching, waiting, commiserating. Fading, so I will not go. Turn the lights off, carry me on.
Live from the Busch Light Studios, this is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson and Tommy Kraft.
So after the Oklahoma City Thunder won the championship, their mayor announced that there would be holidays for each of the players, including Arkansas's own Jalen Williams and Isaiah Joe. Well, apparently, it's also Blink 182 Day, Tommy. Now, the Blink 182 is coming to the AMP in September the 24th. Yep. I know that we do some stuff with the AMP. I've had a chance to go to some concerts here and there. So, again, this is a band that I feel like stretches over a couple generations. I know it's one of my favorites growing up. And it's Blink 182 Day here on a Tuesday, July the 1st.
Why is it Blink 182 Day?
I don't know if they earned that right, if they did it themselves. Just saw it was Blink 182 Day. I figured we could we can open with it.
Every time I hear that, I think about American Pie, the movie. Is that a trilogy, I guess? I think there's 3 of them.
Yeah, and then they did the spin-offs, which aren't as good, but there are some great iconic scenes from American Pie. Steve Stifler is one of the best movie characters ever made, ever concocted. And is Dylan, is he old enough to watch that with you yet?
Oh, he probably already has, but maybe not with me, but probably already has. The first one's over 25 years old, because I know it came out I remember watching it in St. Louis, and I know who I was with and what stage of my life I was in. And that was late 90s. That first one came out. So anyway, brought to you by Oaklawn Sports this morning. We're just all searching and dying for things to watch that have some competition in them right now. There's still stuff out there. You got the WNBA. Golf was exciting this weekend. The PGA Tour with 5 playoff holes. Got live action. So, and then we were talking yesterday about all the futures for college football and the numbers you could get on win totals and specific win totals. Find it all at Oaklawn Sports. New customers can earn up to $1,000 in bonus bets. Once you deposit, you're automatically enrolled in the promotion. You get a second chance on your first bet each of your first 10 days, up to $100 in bonus bets per day. So bet with the brand you trust anywhere in Arkansas. Bet with Oaklawn Sports.
Before I give you something to watch, which is the best American Pie movie? Is it 1, 2, or 3?
I don't know. 1 and 2 that's one of the few that you have a sequel that's
the Lake House one.
Yeah, that's good. The super glue scene is about as funny as it gets. But there's a lot in the first one that's funny. So
it's Jim, and help me on the actress that plays the band geek. That's his eventual.
I know the redhead. I know who you're talking about.
I can't even think of. She's in How I Met Your Mother, but they're 1 and 2 are good. 3 is the wedding one. It's still good, but
that one's pretty good too.
It's not as good as 1 and 2. Well, I do have something we can watch, just not right now.
Okay.
Is that we got to wait a month.
The road to a championship is never paved smoothly. It's always paved with peaks and valleys.
There's a soap opera 365 days a year.
Texas is football country. The hole in Texas saying so God could watch his favorite team, the Cowboys.
I've heard Chuck say that before. So America's team, the Gambler and his Cowboys, just came out with the trailer yesterday. It's set to debut on August the 25th. Next month, get a chance to listen to Jerry Jones, Troy Aikman, Michael Irvin, Emmitt Smith, Deion Sanders, Jimmy Johnson, Barry Switzer, and more. This has a Last Dance type of feel to it. And I'm not a Cowboys fan, but when I saw this trailer, I got excited. I'm searching for something to watch, and I know it's the first week of the college football season, so we got to wait. I wish it would come out like next week, but
yeah, I wish we had more to do. I think that's a little bit late, honestly, for them to put it out. I think sometime in July would be perfect.
And I don't,
know?
I guess, again, there's all this research, all this television's like why you do this, why you do that. But there's such a, like you always talk about pushing the NBA back. There's such a gap, a lapse of stuff. And I've never understood why, and I know there's a lot of movies come out in the summer, but I've never understood why sports, whether NFL, NBA, and obviously the MLB is going on, but why they don't try and capitalize. I know the summer league's coming out in the NBA this week, and you've got some other, but there's just...
The thought is people aren't watching TV in July and August. They're more apt to obviously go on vacation and do other things. Be outdoors, but this isn't on, I mean, here's the thing. We don't watch regular television as much anymore. Where's this series going to be?
Netflix.
Yeah, so you watch it when the hell you want to watch it.
I gotta figure out the account. And I don't know if they're releasing all of them.
You don't have a Netflix account?
No.
You're the one. I noticed my credit card bill yesterday. I was getting expense reports and stuff done. My Netflix is up to $19 a month now.
It used to be like $7.
Well, used to be. Their stock price used to be $88 a share. Now it's $1,200 and something a share.
It's $1,200 and something a share.
Yeah.
Did you ever go in on that?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Did you sell?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, if I hadn't, I wouldn't have to be sitting here.
You speak of that. So, and I don't know the full context of the story, but I believe
I did okay. I could have done a lot better.
Yeah, I believe maybe I'm mixing up Netflix and Redbox, but Blockbuster, of course, used to be the go-to source for movies, DVDs, and everything else, and now it's a relic. It's not, doesn't exist anymore. Blockbuster.
Oh, I thought you said Redbox. Redbox used to be as well.
Well, yeah, and Redbox did too. But if I remember correctly, like one was, I think Redbox or Netflix were trying to sell to Blockbuster. Like, we don't need you. We've got this. We've had it forever. Now,
Blockbuster had the chance to buy Netflix.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And passed it up, and that was the opportunity.
Nobody's going to do that.
I know their executives kick themselves every day.
But the thing that's helped that industry more than anything is now we have broadband, high-speed internet. In every nook and cranny of the country, more or less.
Is that the only good thing about
it? Didn't
COVID?
work. Netflix didn't work very well for a long time if you didn't have great internet. Now I got fiber companies fist fighting at my front door trying to get my business. Literally, I mean, I got like 3 companies in my neighborhood, and they're all. I get endless postcards from all 3 of them. You know, that didn't happen. You know, that's why Netflix works. But anyway, I'm looking forward to watching that. I just wish we had more in the summer, and I'm still a big fan of the idea of let's push the NBA season back to Christmas for its start, and let's end the NBA in late July, early August with the finals. But nobody's listening to me.
What do you know? I agree.
So,
I agree.
Give me more to do. Hey, download the Hit That Line Now app. If you're headed out on vacation or the 4th of July weekend means you're on the road, take the Hit That Line Now app powered by Taco Bell. Along with you, try the new Lux Cravings boxes. They're $5, $7, and $9. Where you'll find something cheesy, saucy, and crunchy waiting on you. Taco Bell's got you covered. It's the Hit That Line Now app powered by Taco Bell.
So we're not the only ones that are, again, occasionally trying to find things to talk about. Sports Center and ESPN are doing this unique thing. Have you seen what they're doing? So they're going
50 states?
Yeah, the 50 states. And we're going to get into where they're going here in Arkansas.
This is Sports Center.
All right, so
the sound effect doesn't tell me anything.
Yeah, so you've got something unique that they're doing here in Arkansas. Mountain biking, Red Bull's Payson McElveen, Wednesday, July 23rd, here in about 3 weeks. And I thought about this, and I know there's a lot of great bike trails. I looked and I couldn't find it.
Okay.
So I'm guessing
there's a lot of places in the state you could mountain bike.
And so again,
just ask a Walton, they'll tell you.
ESPN is going cross country with Sports Center, 50 states, 50 days, excuse me. And again, they're trying to bring sports centers to Arkansans and everywhere else across the country. So there's different hidden gems, rivalries, traditions, and whatnot. I feel like maybe I'm off on this. I feel like they could have done better. Like there's different festivals and stuff that we have during the summer that would better spotlight our state. And again, I'm not a biker, so maybe this is not as entertaining to me as it would be for others. But this just kind of sounded boring.
I mean, and I'm biased, but I think they should have done something in North Central Arkansas. Maybe you could do the Sports Center from Gaston's one day. I know we're a little biased on that, but trout fishing in Arkansas is as good as it gets anywhere in the country. That'd be a great showcase of our state, the Ozarks and the beauty and, all that. That would be one good idea. I think it needs to be centered around something other than Razorback athletics because
there's none going on in this number.
Well, because we see that the rest of the year.
But it is the fabric of our state, but we don't have any.
But, what does our state do what do we produce in this state that we produce more of than anybody else?
Rice.
Very, very good answer. You could do something centered around that. So, but mountain biking is big here, and the Walton family's put a lot of money into great trails.
Well, let's ask our buddy Bruce Dan of Pradco Fishing, who now joins us here on the
fishing should be the star of the show.
Here's what I had down. I had the Cave City Watermelon Fest down because I think our festivals, like there's little unique festivals. Like I know Christian's talked about the Armadillo Festival. There you've got the Grape Festival. There's all these different festivals in our state that showcase in some way, shape, or form. I know Hope likes to say that they're the best watermelons in Arkansas. I've had Cave Cities. I think they're clearly the best.
I would agree.
Bruce, I think you caught some of this. Sports Center is doing this mountain biking thing at the end of July. That's kind of how they're showcasing the state. What, in your opinion, what would be a good way to showcase Arkansas?
Well, I obviously caught the trout fishing part. We are the trout fishing capital, probably not only of Mid-America, but as far as the masses go, catching millions of rainbows every year. It's the state of Arkansas. It's the White River. It's the Bull Shoals Tail Race. So yeah, but we've had it on our license plate. This is the Diamond State. We got a diamond mine. It's
good point.
Something people flock to, and it's one of the few places in the world you can roll up, get you a 2 or 3 or 4 carat diamond, and they still find them. Seems like every month somebody rolls up from Minnesota and pulls one out of the mine. But that's probably the most unique thing we have in Arkansas is the diamond mine. But man, it's a fishing culture. This state fishes, and we like being outdoors. We wade. We're in boats. We like fly fishing. We like spin fishing, and that's part of our fabric.
Murfreesboro, we talked. That was our CJ's Trivia Tuesday question last week. I think that's like you said. I don't know if that could be topped. And if when Anchor actually found one or something like that, Big Dig, or someone was next to him that found one, that would be pretty cool to see and witness and everything else.
Yeah, they don't find them every day there, but
it's like once a month. You haven't been.
I've never been.
Last week, Bruce.
You ever been down there?
I've never been.
I did.
I've never been.
Well, if Sports Center's not going there, maybe we should. Maybe that'd be the next best thing. The Morning Rush go there.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Pyramid,
top Pradco Pyramid of Power top diamond mines in the world.
Yeah,
and we'll do it from Murfreesboro.
There you go. So I just think it'd be, I didn't even think about that till you brought it up, and we were talking about it last week. But you think about the tailwaters of the Bull Shoals and the White River. I think it's as good a trout fishing as there is maybe in North America.
There he is.
And then you think about that. What else would be unique? I mentioned the rice. I don't know if you heard that, but we grow more rice than any other state. We grow like 40% of the nation's rice. But I don't know how you do a sports center around that, but that's something unique to our state.
Well, duck hunting. You could tie it into duck hunting.
Yeah. Wrong time of the year, but yeah.
Flooded in the winter.
Yeah. So,
but you think about world record fish from the state of Arkansas. The world record walleye came out of Greer's Ferry. World record hybrid striper came out of Greer's Ferry. And for a long time, Arkansas set the German brown trout record first on the Little Red and then on the North Fork. I think they've broken it like 7 times up on Lake Michigan in the Milwaukee Harbor. There's something crazy going on right there. But you talk about your chance to catch a 20 to 30 pound brown trout, and Tommy, you see them swimming up and down. They're there. There's not many places in the world you can go and catch a giant brown trout, but you can in Arkansas.
Well, that's what made McClellan's on the North Fork. It's not there any longer, but that's what made them famous. They made a name for themselves, parking cars and people wading into the North Fork.
That's it.
You know more about it than me. I know I know where it used to be, but it's below the shoals there in the catch and release area now. But that used to be as famous a spot as there was anywhere in the world to trout fish.
Well, I think it's the prettiest freshwater fish God invented. I mean, they're beautiful, they're strong, they're powerful, they hit lures, they hit bait, and it's just a privilege to catch them. And fortunately, most anglers let them go and catch them again, so they get to get real big in Arkansas.
Yep, and I think particularly in the Norfolk, those 24-inch slot limits have helped a bunch. All right, we're a couple weeks out from SEC Media Days. We've been kind of talking about some of the storylines coming up there, and then today is also the start of a new fiscal year in college athletics for most places. Things are happening and popping all around. Sports with college sports right now, with the revenue sharing, I guess, officially starting today. Yesterday, we're talking a little bit about job reductions, and 18 people lost their careers at the University of Arkansas yesterday. To me, Bruce, you wad all that up and you look at it and what's going on in college athletics. I put this on the same scale as freshmen being made eligible, scholarship reductions. I mean, everything that's happened here is maybe more of a massive change than any other major direction or redirections in the sport over the last 75 years.
Well, it's big, and I think the thing that's hard as a fan is just we're seeing so much change just on a yearly basis right now, and as a fan, and y'all probably, of course, Ty doesn't, but old people like me and Tommy remember when you rooted for a baseball team or a football team in the 70s and 80s, that roster, there wasn't a lot of change in it, and you could, root for your favorite player for most of his career. He'd stay for one team. And colleges, it used to be like that. Guy's going to show up as a freshman. He's going to be there 4 years. Well, all these changes, that doesn't happen anymore. And we got to get to know these rosters every year because of the money flowing. It's all flowing down to the player level, and they're jumping around, and that's just it's a lot to swallow as a fan.
Yeah.
Bruce, on that note, so one of my things that I was talking about yesterday is we've talked about the quarterback turnover, roster turnovers heavy here in Fayetteville, and it is elsewhere. I mean, I know for your team, Nico's went out west, and you got a new quarterback. That leads to does that lead to more parity, or does it just lead to more off projections in the offseason where teams are slotted and actually end up this season?
Well, I mean, I don't think it leads to parity. I think it leads to Georgia and Alabama and Ohio State and Michigan continuing to get more great players, because great players want to play for great programs. And, I mean, you could say it leads to parity. I think Tennessee's quarterback situation's a lot worse than it was last year or 2 years ago, and because of all the moving parts. So I guess when you get the right players, you're happy with the system, and when you don't, you're not happy with it. But I think it's like anything, in baseball, it's always the Dodgers and Yankees throwing money around, and I think in college football, it's Alabama and Ohio State. Those upper echelon programs are throwing the money around. It's important to them. The boosters give a lot of money, and they're going to be able to recruit the best players because of that.
What's 4th of July weekend look like around Bruce Stanton's castle?
Well, Cole and Courtney are hosting a family cookout. We're going to probably eat too much. I probably can't say we're going to shoot fireworks because it's probably illegal where they live, but that might happen. And then, I hadn't decided if I'm going to get out on Dardanelle yet, but if I do, I'm going to have a booyah pad crasher and a booyah popping pad crasher, because the water's still high. They're still running 150,000 on the main river, but that's pushing all the water back in Shoal Bay and Piney Bay and all the creeks, and it's getting up in the grass, and that's where the bass are. So if you want to catch them, you got to throw a frog or a booyah mobster swimming jig, get that heavy braid on, and you get some nice blow-ups when they get in that stuff. Drag that bait across the top of the grass, and it's kind of exciting.
Yeah, I don't know about the river levels, but I saw where Bull Shoals and Norfolk are not projected to return to pool or normal levels till mid-September. So I don't know how long it's going to be before our river gets back to normal. It's
going to be months. What's funny, I look at my photos. I usually decide where I fish and what I throw. I don't keep a journal anymore because I can just look at my photos on my phone. And this time last year, they were not running current, and we were fishing the jetties and catching topwater fish. The river was clear, and now it's probably 5 or 6 feet over most of the jetties just because there's such a big flow coming down. So, but that's the Arkansas River. It changes from year to year, and that's what makes river fishing challenging and exciting. It's never the same, and you just got to be able to adjust to it.
Yeah.
Or you just go fishing somewhere else.
Get in the truck and go north where it's cooler. So, Lurenet.com for everything you need for your tackle box. Orders over $35 in the U.S. get free shipping as well. Enjoy the 4th. Next week, we'll get back to our Pyramid of Power. We'll look at quarterbacks in the SEC next Tuesday. And enjoy the holiday weekend, and we'll talk to you next week, Bruce.
All right, guys. Happy 4th. Thank you.
Bruce Stanton, Pradco Fishing with us here every Tuesday on the Morning Rush. It is 9:21. We are glad you're here. We're barreling down on a holiday weekend, but still a few days of work. We all got to be productive, or at least act like it the next few days. Then we can get in the pool this weekend. And if you're looking for someone to help you maybe get that water tested, make it crystal clear for the holiday weekend, Burton Pools and Spas is there. They can also help set you up with a brand new pool during the red, white, and blue sale at Burton's. Cool off at a Doughboy above ground pool up to $1,500 off. They've got semi in-ground pools starting at $190 a month, and get a free heater with select in-ground pools right now. It's Burton Pools and Spas, Springdale, Fort Smith, Hot Springs, and Greenland, and online at burtonpools.com.
All right, when we come back, hog update here from Taylor Green and also Coach Cal, who had a sit down with Penny Hardaway next.
Arkansas's home for the best sports talk.
You guys keep rocking. I love the show.
You're listening to the Morning Rush.
APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group has immediate openings in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you're a licensed CDL driver, heavy equipment operator, electrician, diesel mechanic, have paving or concrete labor experience, or experience in a quarry, apply today at jobs.crh.com. APAC offers top pay, a sign-on bonus, benefits including insurance, retirement, and profit sharing. Apply online today at jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
There's big news in the mobile sports betting business. Bet Saracen was just named the 15th largest sports book in America. That's because Arkansans like to do business with a winner. Find all your winners on Bet Saracen. Download it today and look for my RR prop bet specials. I pick them, you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
Looking for a fence that stands out and stands strong? Call the Fence Man, 479-782-3936. Serving the Fort Smith area for over 40 years, the Fence Man builds custom, one-of-a-kind fences, residential, commercial, and high security. Need automatic gates? The Fence Man does it. Need financing? You got it. 18-month financing is available. Get your free quote today at thefencemanar.com or call 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
Are you part of this group? Asthma, Mike. Get over there on that other field and have some asthma.
This is the Morning Rush.
Get state sales tax paid when you trade right now at Rath Auto Resources. We're kicking off our July 4th used car event with an old favorite. Just bring in your old car and upgrade to a road-ready certified pre-owned vehicle and get your state sales tax paid. Combine that with our painless pricing and non-commissioned sales team, and there's never been an easier, more worry-free way to buy a quality pre-owned car. Get state sales tax paid when you trade during our July 4th used car event. Just another reason why all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, rathautofortsmith.com.
When you're craving serious burger goodness, head to Hardee's for the all-new barbecued pulled pork Frisco burger. A charbroiled, quarter-pound, 100% Angus beef patty, topped with 16-hour slow-smoked barbecued pulled pork on toasted sourdough. Only for a limited time at Hardee's. Get a free pulled pork Frisco burger when you download the app and join my reward. See app for terms.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? you might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Valley Family Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, same-day crowns, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nice work to give all of their patients a better life with a better smile. Valley Family Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A at the entrance to Riley Farms. Let them know you heard this on ESPN Radio and receive $300 off a snore guard. Valley Family Dental, 479-226-3500 for an appointment or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
Hey, this is Coach Olenek, but you can call me Doug. I'm one of the co-founders of Fat Boys Fireworks in Van Buren, along with my friend Dwayne Froud. In the fireworks business, you have to be willing to make deals and keep your prices low. That's exactly what we have done for over 21 years. Come see what we mean at 5524 Highway 59 North in Figure 5, Arkansas, 3 miles north of I-540.
You're going to tell me that you don't have no black cat, no Roman candles, or screaming Minnie? No, come on, man.
Picture it. It's a day like any other. You're stuck in traffic on Rogers Avenue during rush hour. You're just ready to get home and relax with your family. And then, just like that, your life can change in an instant. And you're going to need a lawyer to make it right. I'm Phil Votaw with Phil Votaw & Associates. If this happens to you, call me, 479-434-6200, or online at votawlaw.com. I'm Phil Votaw, and you've never met a lawyer like me.
Are you a middle-aged man feeling low on energy, struggling with weight gain, a decreased libido, or even battling depression? You don't have to feel this way any longer. Hi, this is Stephen Pittman, a licensed nurse practitioner and expert on testosterone replacement therapy. At Pittman TRT in Fort Smith, our priority is to restore your vitality and energy the way you felt in your 20s. No need to drive an hour or more.
Call Pittman TRT today at 479-274-1747 or check them out online at pittmantrt.com. Pittman TRT. Get back to feeling like your old self again.
Are you ready to indulge in an unforgettable fine dining experience? Then come join us at Uncorked, where every meal is a masterpiece, crafted with the finest ingredients to tantalize your taste buds. And with our extensive selection of cocktails, wine, craft beer, and bourbons, we've got something for everyone. So why not take a break from the ordinary and join us on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodi's? Come savor the moment with us at Uncorked, where every visit is a celebration.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
There's only one Razorback.
Uncle Tommy loves the Razorbacks. Razorback fans, let's stand up and call those.
107 down.
This one belongs to the Razorbacks. Ball's on the ground, picked up by Colin. Alex has got room.
Everybody, Woo Victory. This is your Hog Update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Mr. Sparky. Need a licensed electrician to service your home? For one of their local pros, call 888-8-SPARKY.
You definitely know the physicality and what it means to be an SEC quarterback with social life and the fans and everything and social media, but really just the preparation. I have to get my body right. In the training room, got a great training staff and strength staff too, and nutrition. Shout out to them, but also get my mind right and knowing what to expect. Coming into this year and getting the film room with Trino and Coach Fishback and just preparing like a pro, and that's what I've taken into this year in the offseason.
That's your quarterback, Taylon Green, in Thibodaux, Louisiana, talking to Chris Gordy, Locked On SEC, about this upcoming year. And one of the things we discussed last season, Sam Pittman's been on the record about it, is keeping Taylon healthy. Tommy, you think about that hit he took in the Tennessee game that knocked him out, and he just won the same after that, unfortunately. That's a huge part if Arkansas is going to have any success this season, is just keeping that guy upright.
Yeah, and that's why when we were talking about quarterbacks and teams that maybe should be considered near the top or how much parity there's at the top, we gloss over lines. But, the offensive line is such a huge piece of the puzzle that doesn't get evaluated, I think, enough in these early season talking points during talking season. If Arkansas's line isn't significantly better, Taylon Green's going to have a hard time having a really good season.
What did you say, Colton, yesterday? LSU lost 4 of their 5 starters.
Yeah, they're looking to replace the majority of their offensive line up front.
Yeah, including Will Campbell, who got drafted by the New England Patriots. So, again, you look at Garrett Nussmeier, you look at Arch Manning, some of the top tier, or at least thought to be. I don't know if Arch is going to end up being that, but at least thought to be the top tier quarterbacks in the SEC. South Carolina's had offensive line issues under Beamer. See if Lenora Sellers is able to keep up. And you're just hoping Fernando Carmona Jr. and the other starters back and the guys that they brought in as well, from whether Georgia Tech, UCF, and also Shaq McCroy from Oregon. You're hoping those guys can give Arkansas closer to 2021. I don't know if they're ever going to get to where they were in 2021, Tommy, but they definitely can be a better offensive line than we've seen the last 2 years.
If you want to be competitive, you want to get close to 8. And is 8 the ceiling?
In regular season?
Yeah, regular season, 12 games. Is 8 the ceiling?
I can't see them getting to 9, so I think 8's a fair ceiling to
Looking
put
at the
I hope
betting
I'm wrong.
It seems like 5's the floor and 8's the ceiling. How do you get closer to the ceiling? We're all kind of hoping for 7, 8 if you steal one. 5 would be disappointing. So I think that's that's a broad brush you're painting with there, but I think that's kind of where most sane fans are right now.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to win. You're not only going to win 2 or 3 games. You're going to do better than that. You're not going to win 9 or 10. So that kind of leaves 5 to 8 open, and I think that's where a lot of our mindset's at right now.
Football news continuing on here. Your Hog Update. Arkansas got a commitment from Victor London, who's a defensive back from Texas. Previously was committed to Oklahoma State. So you flipped him. So another guy. Arkansas has built a strong class in terms of the number of commitments. I want to see how the player rankings shake out. They're ahead in the rankings right now, not just the SEC, but nationally. But they've got a lot more commits or guys committed to the football team in this 2026 class. Tommy, I don't know if you saw now the 2 of the top 5 in-state players committed elsewhere, SMU, and I can't remember the other school, but now as it stands, and Colton, you correct me if I'm wrong on this, but 4 of the top 5 players in this upcoming class are committed elsewhere.
We know that Archer from Greenwood, he's going to UCF, so he's amongst that group. So, but would 7 or 8 wins flip that? With Bobby Petrino being back another year past this year, change those minds. 7 or 8 wins probably means Sam Pittman's back for another year unless he chooses otherwise. And I think from an offensive standpoint, players still want to play for that guy, Bobby Petrino.
All right, that is your Hog Update here on a Tuesday. It's brought to you by our friends at Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8
All right, Colton, this is an important day in your ESPN Arkansas life. It is International Chicken Wheating Day. Flats or drums, ranch or blue cheese? Tommy and I differ on both of these.
I'm a flats guy, and I like ranch better than blue cheese.
Okay, all right. You can stay on.
Drums and blue cheese, if it's good blue cheese. I can deal with ranch, but blue cheese is the proper way to eat buffalo. If you're having buffalo wings with buffalo sauce.
Okay.
It's not blue. It's not spelled right. It's not even cheese. I'm out on all 3 accounts.
Let's see if we can, if I can stay friends with David Rath of Rath Mitsubishi. David, what is your answer to the chicken wing question?
Flat.
Okay. Check.
And honestly, probably ranch.
Okay. All
I'm
right.
kind of with you. If it's good blue cheese, it's good, but boy, that's hit or miss.
My dad loves blue cheese.
Blue cheese is fine if it's buffalo sauce. Now, if you want to venture off into lemon pepper, we want to get into honey barbecue, then ranch is maybe more appropriate. But with buffalo sauce, with that spice and that vinegar, I need the blue cheese.
I can't fault you on that.
No. Well, that's again, David. We can stay friends with the answer to that question. Just happy to do that. I know you guys have a big week, not just the next couple days, but all the way up through Monday. State sales tax paid when you trade at both Rath Mitsubishi and Rath Auto Resources in Fort Smith.
Yeah. So we're kind of doing that for our big 4th of July sale. We're doing that all this week through what I guess it'll be through Monday. So, we're going to do state sales tax paid when you trade. And we kind of started that toward the end of June, too. So we've been talking about it for a minute. But, there's no gotchas, no catch, no qualifiers on what kind of trade or anything like that. If it's got a VIN number, 4 wheels, get it in there to us, and we'll trade with you. And, you're going to get your sales tax paid when we do that. So, it's a good way to help out some folks that, whether a lot of people have to wait on that, because that's kind of a big ticket piece of the whole thing. I mean, if you don't put a bunch of cash down, you still know you got to go pay your sales tax when you register your car. That kind of throws folks off a lot of the time. So that's a way to save some money. I think we average somewhere around $1,200.
Wow.
Per check on that. So that's pretty good. It's a big deal for folks.
Save some money these next couple days. Rath Auto Resources in Fort Smith, Rath Mitsubishi in Springdale, Mighty Key Car Care Center at both locations to service your vehicle from top to bottom. David, have a great 4th of July. We got any fun plans this weekend outside of working?
No, not really. No,
all work, no play.
With the kids on the 4th, and then back to work on the 5th. Dude.
Okay, all right. We'll get you some flats and some rants today. Enjoy International Chicken Wing Day, and of course, enjoy 4th of July this weekend.
Yeah, y'all too. That sounds like a plan. Thanks, guys.
When we come back, NCAA estimates for Arkansas's revenue sharing. We'll get into that and your Morning Rush Daily Question.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
There's big news in the mobile sports betting business. Bet Saracen was just named the 15th largest sports book in America. That's because our Kansans like to do business with a winner. Find all your winners on Bet Saracen. Download it today and look for my R prop bet specials. I pick them, you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
Looking for a fence that stands out and stands strong? Call the Fence Man, 479-782-3936. Serving the Fort Smith area for over 40 years, the Fence Man builds custom, one-of-a-kind fences, residential, commercial, and high security. Need automatic gates? The Fence Man does it. Need financing? You got it. 18-month financing is available. Get your free quote today at thefencemanAR.com or call 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
The hole in Texas A&M so God could watch his favorite team, the Cowboys.
This is the Morning Rush.
Up to $11,000 off on select GMC Sierras at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The GMC Sierra will conquer the road with confidence. Up to $11,000 off. Or lease the all-new 2025 GMC Hummer EV with hands-free driving assistance and go 0 to 60 in under 3 seconds for as low as $900 a month. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
When you're craving serious burger goodness, head to Hardee's for the all-new barbecued pulled pork Frisco burger. A charbroiled, quarter-pound, 100% Angus beef patty, topped with 16 hours slow-smoked barbecued pulled pork on toasted sourdough. Only for a limited time at Hardee's. Get a free pulled pork Frisco burger when you download the app and join my reward. The app for terms.
Do you want to be home every weekend, use brand new equipment, and make a competitive salary? Then let me tell you about Lavorne Lumber. They're looking to fill a regional over-the-road position. So if this sounds like a great next job opportunity for you, call 479-646-4685. That's 646-4685. 515 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith and online at Lavorne, Lovvorn lumber.com. Lavorne Lumber. Paying the bills, we'll take care of you.
Do you need closure on your garage? Call Grit Garage Doors. Whether it's a new door, a squeaky closing sound, a broken spring, or just off track, Grit is who you can trust. With an unheard of 15-year spring warranty option, Grit is the team you can trust. Call Grit. There's no door Grit can't close. Local team, local service with honesty and integrity. Call Grit Garage Doors. 479-430-3667. That's 479-430-DOOR.
When she wrecked your heart, we were there to pick up the pieces with you. Now that you've wrecked your car, we can help with that too. Dog bite? Slip and fall? Car crash? Call Jackie Mock. 15 years in the insurance industry taught me the tricks to get you paid. Call for your wreck check today. 479-769-1505. Mock Legal Solutions. Real advice. A wreck check sounds nice.
This is Daryl Johnston with Hashtag Managed IT Services. We are excited to now be part of AAA Business Systems. Hashtag will continue to handle every IT need your business will have, and now, as part of AAA Business Systems, we can handle all of your document printing and storage solutions. Together, we have the expertise to meet all of your office technology needs. Find us online at aaabm.com or call us at 471-1771.
Do you want a fireworks display that will have your kids thinking you're the coolest parent in town? Then listen up. Hey, this is Coach Olenek, but you can call me Doug. I'm one of the co-founders of Fat Boys Fireworks in Van Buren, along with my friend Dwayne Froud. We have the largest kids table in the area with all the novelty kid stuff. Come see what we mean at 5524 Highway 59 North in Figure 5, Arkansas. People tell us all the time, I wish I would have come to Fat Boys first.
Fireworks, basically.
Oh, look, fireworks!
Whether you're opening your first checking account, purchasing your first home, saving for your first big vacation, or opening a new business, First Star Bank offers hometown service with the latest in digital banking technology. Our local team makes banking fast, convenient, and easy. From simple everyday banking to helping you fulfill your dreams, our team is here to guide you every step of the way. First Star Bank. We'll be there through all your firsts. Learn more at firststar.bank or stop by one of our local branches today. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. That Social Morning Rush Daily Question.
All right, you men. I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to answer to the best of your ability.
It's going to be a quick answer to an incredibly terrible, long question.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Check out Nate and Kristen's Place in Lowell online at carpathsocial.com.
Cheeseburger or hot dog? I mean, those are kind of the staples, right, for 4th of July. I don't think you're doing a 4th of July correctly if you don't have hot dogs and cheeseburgers on the grill. Which way you going? You going to the grill first? Probably the answer is both. But you going burger or dog for 4th of July? Am I right on that? That is the only correct answer for the menu? I mean, you mentioned wings in the last segment. I'm for drummies or flats, but that's not a 4th of July thing. 4th of July is not done right unless you've got burgers and dogs, right?
Yeah.
So you going burger or dog?
I would just take a burger. Hot dogs I get on the golf course, so I'll take a burger.
A little bit burnt, a little bit crispy, Yeah. So yeah, I think I'm going dog. A good quality hot. Now, if it's one of them bar ass cheap, hot dogs. No, give me the good burger. But we're talking good quality dog. I'll take the good quality dog over a burger about any time.
I mean, it's a holiday's built around people up there shoving gluttonous amounts of hot dogs in their face. The answer's got to be hot.
Well, yeah,
dog.
and then you get I didn't even think about the 4th of July hot dog eating contest.
And Joey Chestnut is back, baby. The king returned, so it's going to be real
so
deal.
What was
hot dog?
Tell me his deal. So didn't he sign with one of those non-meat brands for sponsorship and was like, I'm not doing this anymore? And I guess that
they wouldn't let him compete, I guess, because he wasn't eating the same thing as everybody else because he only wanted to eat the vegan dog, from what I remember. And then
Nathan said no.
Nathan said no.
And then they're like,
yeah,
we're going to give you more money.
Greg from Mina says bratwurst. I get with that. Little bratwurst on the grill. That's something along with that. Beverly on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline says brats as well. So
I'd rather have a hot dog than a brat.
Really?
Yeah.
Nah, I think a good quality brat is better than a hot dog every day.
If it's something
you got to boil it first of all to properly prepare a brat. They need to be boiled or brought close to boil in beer. Mm-hmm. And then you put them on the grill to brown them up. And I think, a little grilled onion with that.
Yeah, we're in business.
As good as it gets. I'm going to guess you're out on sauerkraut, too. Sauerkraut with the dog is pretty good,
I mean, I'll eat it on a Reuben, but I'm not intentionally putting sauerkraut on a brat.
Right.
It's there. I live with it on a Reuben because that's part of the Reuben sandwich, but I don't go out of my way to put it on a hot dog or a brat or anything.
And I was raised. My grandmother fixed sauerkraut and hot dogs like in a skillet. You didn't have a bun. You just ate the dogs and the sausages and the sauerkraut. I was raised on that stuff.
Onions.
Man. I loved it.
Onions is I can do that, but I'm not sauerkraut now.
I fix sauerkraut and hot dogs or sauerkraut and something. It might happen.
Smell your house up too. Or your kids running high.
I mean,
or will you make them eat it?
No, they're not going to. I mean, make them eat it. Yeah, right. But like I have that kind of control. But that's one of them old staples from my childhood. That man, if I walk in and you got sauerkraut and hot dogs in a skillet on the stove, I'm all in, baby. I'm all in.
Text from Hog Wild and Van Buren, the best hot dogs, Nathan's or Hebrew National. I would actually, so Nathan's has a little garlic in them. Hebrew National, when I worked at Five Guys, those were the all beef ones we used. And I'm really honestly partial to those.
That all beef dog at Sam's, hard to beat. I don't know I think it's Members, but I don't know what the brand name on it is. But man, that $1.38 hot dog combo at Sam's is
I haven't ever had
pretty good.
The Costco. The Costco is, I don't know if it's the owner or CEO, but he's like, you're going to have to put me in the ground before that we raise the price on the hot dog and drink combo, which they're apparently actively losing money on, but he just refuses.
Well, I mean, I don't know how Sam's is making any money at $1.38, but, you know.
Margin's got, if there is a margin, and if it's not a loss, it's probably as thin as it gets of anything in that store. But
Sam's used to be able to get a Coke with that. Now it's Pepsi. But, you know.
They switched it up?
Oh, several years ago. It's quite the controversy.
Is it not a, like, there's a lot of them, like gas stations, for example, have the fountain drinks of Pepsi and the fountain drinks of Sam's. I never go to Sam's, so it's all Pepsi now?
All Pepsi products.
Is that just an Arkansas thing, or is it nationwide?
Can't answer that. I'm just telling you that the Sam's that I would imagine it's nationwide. But and because Pepsi's cheaper than Coke. When you're selling a $1.38 drinking hot dog, you know. Probably can't afford the Coca-Cola.
Makes sense. All right, that's your Card Pass Social Morning Rush daily question. Number one place for indoor golf in Arkansas. They've got Card Pass Social open this weekend, this Friday, till 7 o'clock today. So you can take advantage of the number one indoor golf facility. The rest of the weekend, normal hours at Card Pass Social. And it's going to be hot. I know some of you are looking for something to do this weekend. Maybe you don't want to have to deal with fireworks. Well, you can go and hang out with your friends, your family at Cart Pass Social. It's BYOB. Bring your own food and have a good time. Pay for each bay, not per person, for each bay. Go to cartpasssocial.com, 122 Grant Place in Lowell.
Hog Wild and Van Buren says the Earl Campbell's sausage links. I think you're probably meaning the Earl Campbell's hot links. The red ones, those are pretty good. Joel is texted in on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Hammerhead says brats. I agree. Now, we did this past weekend. The Johnsonville Italian sausages.
Yes.
The hot. I mean, those aren't technically brats. They look like it, but they're Italian sausages.
That I will take over brats or hot dogs.
Now, you take those and put them over a bed of spaghetti and marinara. Pretty good right there.
Hard to beat.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I want to get into it's a brand new day for college athletics, July the 1st, revenue sharing happening. Steve Sullivan, I don't know where his source is, but I'm going to trust Steve on this. KATV in Little Rock. The NCAA estimates for Arkansas's revenue sharing: 73% to football, basketball gets 20%, baseball 5.7%, and then there's a large drop off. Softball 0.5%, women's hoops 0.4%, track and field 0.2%, gymnastics 0.2%, and volleyball 0.1%. Chucky Bowe had Colby Hale on, women's soccer team, which he's had a ton of success since arriving in Fayetteville, and they're not even listed on this list. Any surprises that football is at 73%?
20,100,000 is that what you said? 20.1 million?
I think it's 20.5.
I think the football team gets somewhere around 15 million, a little less
okay,
than 15.
Here's all I'm trying to do. A percentage point is worth 205,000
to Jason Watson's volleyball program.
So 1% is worth.
1%, not.
I'm saying a point. So you said 73% to football.
Yeah.
14.965 million.
So about 15.
That's about what we thought it would be. Mm-hmm. About 15 million.
Is that even is that? And you can jump in here in the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963. We discussed this a little bit last week. Some of you were like, spend the money on the sports we can actually win in. You asked a good question last segment about the ceiling for Arkansas football, and I think we all agree 8. You hate that you feel like there's a ceiling in football. And is there any other women's basketball? Yes, because outside of Gary Blair, there's not been a lot of success here. But is there any other sport on this campus that you feel like there's a ceiling at, except for football and maybe women's basketball? That's what kind of stinks when discussing this. It's like you feel like that even if you're good, that it's like once every 5 years we could compete for the SEC championship.
But you can always justify these kind of percentages and breakouts based on revenue, right? What do you think from a revenue standpoint? Football brings in what percentage of the overall budget right now? probably close to 70%, 73% or whatever, you know. So when you come back and you say, well, football's going to get 73% and they stink. They're terrible. They can't win any games. They're not expected to do this. You know, they're not going to win 9 games this year. Well, they're still going to generate 70% of the money for the athletic department.
I'll give you it.
So, I mean, at the end of the day, why would you suffocate the goose that's still laying the golden eggs?
Mm-hmm. I think about, so Little Rock Christian, my alma mater, we used to be awful at football. My high school, we were terrible for the most part after Michael Dyer left. And we had to stint for probably 4 or 5 years where we didn't do anything. And then they got good again. But I remember in high school, like, whether it's band members, different sports on campus complaining that football would get new stuff. Despite us not being good, we still made the majority. I say we. I didn't play on the team, but the football team made the majority of the money. And so in this situation where Arkansas, again, is not having the same success as football compared to the other sports on this campus, the other sports on this campus would not have teams if not for the revenue that was brought in by the football team, right? You wouldn't be able to make it, to have an athletics department. Yes, and I know there's television money and other stuff, but football, again, by and large,
drives the boat.
It does that.
Period.
So that's the deal there.
All right, if you're planning a weekend to come up and watch a football game this fall, make sure you call the Inn at the Mill right now and get your reservations for a quality room, an oversized suite. It's close to campus. It's close to all the restaurants and the things you want to do. Or maybe you're coming up for 4th of July weekend in Northwest Arkansas. We always recommend you stay at the Inn at the Mill. 479-443-1800. The location is right off I-49 at the Johnson exit. So you're in Bentonville and Rogers, 10, 15 minutes. You're on campus in about 10 minutes. You're close to great restaurants. You know, Springdale's just, you know, literally right over the hill. So you're close to all the cool stuff there in Northwest Arkansas. 479-443-1800 or online at inatthemill.com.
JT asking the question here on our Lewis Automotive Group hotline, would changing coaches increase the ceiling of football? I don't know. That's first off,
that's what they thought when they got rid of Brett Bielema.
Yeah, and I think, like, when that question's being asked, one, Sam Pittman is the head football coach at Arkansas until he says so or the board of trustees says otherwise. And so, again, we can speculate all we want. If I had my personal, like, druthers, I want him to win that 8-game ceiling this fall, maybe 9 games if they got to a bowl. Is that likely? Probably not. But that is, again, I think a question, JT, that not only you've contemplated, but others of our listeners have contemplated. You hope that the transfer slew of guys that he brought in can help this football team. The offensive lineman that he maintained and kept on campus, Taylor Green, heading into year 2, will help with the continuity. But they did lose a lot in the portal, including guys in Ole Miss that you got to play week 3. So the true answer to your question is I don't know. And I don't think anyone knows, for that matter.
And so who you would hire. But, I mean, that's cart in front of horse kind of conversation there. But everybody thought, hey, Bielema's done his best, the best he can do. We'll get rid of him and we'll raise the ceiling. Well, how'd that work out? You know, you didn't plan on having Chad Morris in 2 of the worst years you've ever seen in the history of your program. Hey, it's Taco Tuesday, Joe's Grill and Cantina. They'll have the throwback platters later this week, but dollar tacos all day today. Thursday means Throwback Thursday with a rotation of their Cuco's classic platters. Joe's chips and salsa are made fresh every day with a house-made salsa, fresh veggies and carrots. You can try their sizzling fajita skillets. And, again, crunchy tacos today for just $1 for beef and chicken tacos. Their enchiladas are the best around. So if you love Tex-Mex, you're going to love Joe's Grill and Cantina. Great Tex-Mex with the best service, 3400 South 74th Street across from Harps.
We talk with Tom Murphy when we come back.
APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group has immediate openings in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you're a licensed CDL driver, heavy equipment operator, electrician, diesel mechanic, have paving or concrete labor experience, or experience in a quarry, apply today at jobs.crh.com. APAC offers top pay, a sign-on bonus, benefits including insurance, retirement, and profit sharing. Apply online today at jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
There's big news in the mobile sports betting business. Bet Saracen was just named the 15th largest sports book in America. That's because our Kansans like to do business with a winner. Find all your winners on Bet Saracen. Download it today. and look for my Double R prop bet specials. I pick 'em, you win 'em.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
Looking for a fence that stands out and stands strong? Call the Fence Man, 479-782-3936. Serving the Fort Smith area for over 40 years, the Fence Man builds custom, one-of-a-kind fences, residential, commercial, and high security. Need automatic gates? The Fence Man does it. Need financing? You got it. 18-month financing is available. Get your free quote today at thefencemanar.com or call 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
For decades, the Rebel Crawfish has been a tackle box staple. But now, get ready for the next generation. Introducing the all-new Rebel Matte series of Rebel Crawfish. 4 all-new ultra matte colors that eliminate glare and enhance realism, mimicking a natural crawfish like never before. The same iconic shape and swimming action, but now with a stunning matte finish. Upgrade to the all-new matte series of Rebel Crawfish today at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Dick's Sporting Goods, and local tackle shops everywhere. Rebel. Catch fish anywhere.
This is the Morning Rush.
Get state sales tax paid when you trade right now at Rath Auto Resources. We're kicking off our July 4th used car event with an old favorite. Just bring in your old car and upgrade to a road-ready certified pre-owned vehicle and get your state sales tax paid. Combine that with our painless pricing and non-commissioned sales team, and there's never been an easier, more worry-free way to buy a quality pre-owned car. Get state sales tax paid when you trade during our July 4th used car event. Just another reason why all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, rathautofortsmith.com.
Whether you're opening your first checking account, purchasing your first home, saving for your first big vacation, or opening a new business, First Star Bank offers hometown service with the latest in digital banking technology. Our local team makes banking fast, convenient, and easy. From simple everyday banking to helping you fulfill your dreams, our team is here to guide you every step of the way. First Star Bank. We'll be there through all your firsts. Learn more at firststar.bank or stop by one of our local branches today. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Who can you trust to sell your home for the most money with the least amount of drama? You need a team of agents with decades of experience, commitment, and of course, tens of thousands in marketing. I'm talking about the Limbird team. Tara Limbird Real Estate Group has sold over $1 billion in real estate. Tara's team could give you a cash offer in 72 hours or use Tara's high-octane marketing to sell your home quite possibly for thousands over asking. Find out more at limbirdteam.com. LIMBIRD.
Storm season is here. Is your roof ready? Hey, it's Matt Jones. If the weather has wrecked your roof and you need a roofing company you can trust, call my friends at Patriot Brothers Roofing. They have the #1 certainty roofing company in Arkansas. They are licensed, bonded, insured, and lifetime River Valley residents located in Van Buren.
Thanks, Matt. We are also the only roofing company in the River Valley that installs a full Certainteed integrity roof system and registers a 50-year warranty directly with Certainteed. Patriot Brothers Roofing, because your home deserves only the best.
Here's some exciting news for golf enthusiasts. The Golf Nut is thrilled to announce new arrivals for 2025, including Callaway Elite Woods and Irons, the new generation Pro V1 and Pro V1X golf balls, as well as a full range of lab putters, including the latest OZ model. Schedule a lesson or fitting on one of our indoor simulators to elevate your game. Visit the Golf Nut at 5121 Towson Avenue and experience golfing greatness for over 30 years.
World-class trout fishing is the star of the show at Gaston's White River Resort, where a few days away from all the worries and stress will make all right in your world. Gaston's has friendly, experienced guides to help you land your limit. Enjoy your stay at Gaston's in one of their private cottages or reserve a lodge for up to 20 people. Call now and let Gaston's help you plan your next getaway on the White River. 870-431-5202. That's 870-431-5202. Or learn more at Gastons.com. Gaston's, a first-class time every time.
The Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Online and on the air and now everywhere you go. Tune in to the greatest moments of Razorback sports with Chuck Barrett, Bo Mattingly, Tommy Kraft, Ty Richardson, Phil Elson, Matt Jones, and Ruskin and Zach with our Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Stay connected no matter where you go with the Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Download for free in the Apple app or Google Play stores. Just search Hit That Line Now. It's fueled by Taco Bell. ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, plenty of sunshine. There's a slight chance of seeing a shower. Thunderstorms from our high temperatures into the low 90s. Mainly clear, low 70s tonight, and then Thursday, sunshine, low 90s. Friday, we're back to sunny skies and a high in the low to mid 90s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Forest Grain Incorporated, committed to setting the standard of excellence since 1936. KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 60 days.
All the small things, true care, truth brings. Take one lift, you're right, best trip, always, I know, you'll be at my show, watching, waiting, commiserating, fading so, I will not go, turn the lights off, carry me home.
Live from the Busch Light Studios, this is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson and Tommy Kraft.
It's National Blink 182 Day. They're coming to the AMP on September the 24th at 7 o'clock. I guess they've earned that right to be named after or get their own holiday with all the music they've created over the years. I know that we've all had our band or our artist that is our go-to over the years. You think back when you listen to them in elementary school, you listen to them in middle school, in high school. Just any song brings up good memories from an easier time for most of us. I would say Blink-182. I would not put it at the top of that list, but it definitely brings up some good memories of the younger age. We used to have some music stations. Was Blink-182 ever played on
probably
those back in the day? Did you ever?
About the time you were born, yeah.
What did y'all call? What did you call the?
Oh, what didn't we call
play
it?
A track. What do you do
when we what?
You clicked a.
You've never played music on the radio?
Nope.
No, you've never been a DJ, have you?
Nope. And the world's better off for it.
Probably so.
So what
we
are they?
Played the hits, man. I don't know when I've sat in this very room that we're in now, 30 plus years ago at this point, and played LPs. Board set this way, we faced this wall. Equipment closet was in the same spot. We had a rack here, and we had LPs on one side, and we had this
when you say LPs for the non-radio people,
vinyl. We played vinyl on the left, and then we had CDs on the right, and our automation system had this very antiquated, at the time it was modern, but antiquated CD system where you had to put them in these cartridges, and you'd load these cartridges in these big, huge commercial CD machines. And that's what we would do.
Just to put sports radio in context of obviously what we used to have with music. So on this day in 1987, the Fan in New York went to a 24-hour all sports
WFAN.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All sports radio format.
Yep. First to do it.
Yep. And that's not even.
What year?
1987. So not even 4 decades.
I don't think, ESPN radio didn't even exist till 91 or 2.
Mm-hmm. When I was reading that, I wondered, what is the radiothons were bigger back then than they are now. What is the longest you've ever been actually on air? I'm not talking about when you're, this is Tommy Kraft for in the afternoons, and you really voice track 20 minutes that took up 6 hours.
In this room, 18 hours. Got snowed in. No one could get here to relieve me. And it wasn't a deal.
18 hours.
Yep. And I couldn't, at that point it built up, I couldn't leave.
Any food or drinks or anything?
Stuck.
That's tough.
Stuck.
That's tough.
Couldn't get a pizza delivered. Fortunately, my knee, my back, my shoulder, and my hips didn't hurt. And we didn't even know QC Kinetics back then. We know them today because they're at the top of the game for regenerative medicine. What does that mean? That means the healing properties, the healing powers from your own body. With platelet enrichment, they take your platelets and they put it right to the source where you hurt the most. And here's the thing I want you to know. This is critical because if you're hurting and you're considering QC Kinetics, know this, 92% of patients report satisfaction with their results. That's not just a number. That should give you peace of mind that 92% of the patients at QC Kinetics are satisfied with the results of their procedures. I mean, you're exploring something that's likely to work for you. 479-999-1234 is the number. 999-1234 for our friends at QC Kinetics.
We got something called beef. B-E-E-F.
This hour of the Morning Rush is presented by the Arkansas Beef Council. Beef, it's what's for dinner.
Once again, beef.
Tom, we were just chatting with Tommy about the number of hours that he stayed up doing radio, which is 18. I know you've had some long nights over the years covering the Razorbacks. How long do you think you've stayed up into the night or worked hours straight covering this football team or basketball team over the years?
That's a great question. There's been some late football games delayed by weather and such, but I definitely covered. Bob and I were both at the Missouri State home game in 2017, was it? It got delayed, and I think it ended around 3 a.m. Do y'all recall the details of that?
Yeah, regional game. Arkansas stayed alive. I think on a Saturday night, unfortunately lost that, or maybe it was Sunday night, lost that Sunday or Monday. I think about that 2 years prior, they beat Florida in the SEC tournament, and that game lasted till like 1. I'm guessing, Tom, that the game may have concluded at 3, but you and Bob were probably right until 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning.
Oh no, when it's that late, you just kind of file the gamer. And then you get out of there because, we had to cover a game the next day. I also was at the SEC tournament that game you referenced against Florida. Bobby Wernis, hit a home run or he did something really big in that game too. So, yeah, I was at that one in Hoover as well.
I think that was the ninth – or not, excuse me, that was like the 8th inning because I remember him hitting. He wasn't necessarily the best hitter. That was a big hit for now Coach Wernis here in Arkansas. Tom, today's a big deal for college athletics, the changing with the revenue and whatnot. I know we got a chance to hear from Remy Cofield last week. You've given us your thoughts thus far. Is there anything that maybe you've thought of in the last day or so that we haven't necessarily accounted for or something that you think is important when it comes to not just today, but moving here on forward in college athletics?
Well, it's just maybe the sad toll that these departments have had to make some cuts and all. And, I understand that revenue sharing or paying athletes was inevitable, but just the way it all, the way it transpired and the cost is, a little bit alarming. I would say this, Arkansas is not going to be completely open about the exact percentages or maybe amounts that go to sport by sport. Other schools have done it. But I guess I understand it's a competitive balance issue. But, the majority needs to go to the highest fundraising sports, and that's football and men's basketball, and then it goes from there. So it's just a reality. And, if we had time to reverse and approach it in a different way from years ago, perhaps the NCAA could have kept itself out of this huge lawsuit. And what I fear is that we're only at the tip of the iceberg on how lawsuits are going to spawn from this with Title IX, with women's sports and those kinds of things, because there's always going to be attorneys out there who will represent an aggrieved party. And I really don't understand, the exact cutoff date, why it goes back to a certain year that they were given back pay and this huge settlement. And it's just really kind of a financial mess. And we're seeing that play out. And as I wrote on the story last week, I can't remember if it was Thursday or Friday that they had cuts in the department. So it's just a sad reality of this.
Yeah. And now the human side is, names are getting put to the situation. Kevin Trainor's a name that everyone in the media certainly knows, and I think for fans that follow closely, they know Kevin. Made the announcement of Norm DeBryan and in his election to the College Baseball Hall of Fame. He's been very closely connected to that baseball program. That's the human element of this. We all think of these big numbers, and we talk about $20.5 million and $25 million with scholarships, and then the human element of it is someone you've worked with and around for 20 plus years is no longer going to be there as a result of all of this that's unfolded.
Yeah, I have heard that. And Kevin, I mean, it's so I was covering Bama, as you guys know, years before I came here, and I just remember Mary Lynn was the receptionist back then, the executive assistant, and if I had to come to campus and do something, they were always just so gracious. Like, that's one of the reasons why I wanted to come here, was their athletic department was so welcoming, and they would get me a parking pass or whatever it took, and I felt like I was friends with them. And that was when I was covering an opposing team. I mean, we did features at my previous paper on an athlete on the other team. And Kevin got me a phone interview with Matt Jones way back in the day. Matt didn't seem too excited about doing it, but we had the interview anyway, and on the phone right after a practice. So it was a different time. But, I understand Kevin's in Ireland or has been in Ireland, and I saw where Wally wrote about that the other day, yes. Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying that's the human side of it. So I think while today kind of marks the day of a new change, today's not like some day where all of this gets unfolded and we, lift the curtain and we feel this whole new presence. But this is where it will officially start. And I think there will be things we all notice come the end of football season that is different. And I think maybe player behavior and the things that we see, that is different. And the way coaches are handling things. I think those are the things that this football season we'll start to notice the subtleties of a lot of things, but behind the scenes, this is heavy stuff. Oh yeah, there's no doubt about that. We had a story in the paper today. I was just reading about North Carolina's athletic department having to make a decision about just basically publicizing a tip-off, a basketball 4-team tournament deal, special one, and whether or not to use the likeness of their top player, and I can't think of his name right now, Trimble or something like that, but whether or not to use him. And so they decided not to, because he had the right to not be used in athletic department promotional material. And that's going to be part of contracts now sometimes. And it's a whole new world, and there's going to be a lot of legalese and language and contracts that will need to be deciphered by athletic departments and attorneys. And today is step one, and we have clearinghouse stuff to do to go through on NIL. How much teeth will this College Sports Commission have to enforce things? So many questions. And when you have thousands of athletes, there's going to be different types of behaviors with that much money involved. It is inevitable, and there's probably going to be certain backlash from certain fans, but that's where we are with modern college sports. And I'm happy there's compensation going to athletes. Yeah. But the way it's been implemented, and just maybe the some of the numbers are a little bit eye-popping and somewhat disturbing. Is this the number one topic? Where does this rank as far as conversation at SEC Media Days in a couple of weeks? Yeah, I'm sure it'll be pretty huge, and because it's still going to be evolving. The number of conference games will be a real hot button issue because it's getting closer and closer. The format of the college football playoff as we move ahead will also be a big topic. A lot of changes. And also I understand there's probably going to be a lot of movement in the group of five or, the non-Power 4 conferences with realignments coming up real soon as well.
Tom Murphy with us, Whole Hog Sports Arkansas, Democrat Gazette, courtesy of the Arkansas Beef Council. Tom, we actually, Steve Sullivan, I don't know where the source is at, but you were talking about the distribution for the revenue sharing. The NCAA estimates for Arkansas, this is on his Twitter right now, football's at 73, hoops is at 20%, baseball's at 5.7. Does that kind of go in line with what you were thinking for Arkansas and how they would divvy it out from the revenue sharing standpoint?
Yeah, and I saw that, what you're referencing, which, that's probably going to fall in line with the top. Other than the baseball, I think it was listed as maybe the third highest in the NCAA. I think I saw that somewhere. But, yeah, that falls in line. And obviously, you got to feed the football. You got to be competitive on that, or you're just going to lose some top players. So, yeah, that makes sense to me.
We got a chance to listen to Taylor Green. He was in Thibodaux, Louisiana at the Manning Passing Academy. Caught up with one of our buddies, Chris Gordy, with Locked On SEC. And he talked about, again, year two, getting accustomed to the SEC, playing under Bobby Petrino, getting to know that offense in another offseason. Tom, do you think, how pivotal it is to just keep him healthy this fall, being the fact that, he got injured in the Tennessee game, won the same after that. Do you think they have the guys in place on the offensive line to do that this year?
Well, that's a great question. They say, and Bobby Petrino has said, their O-line will be better. And I think he actually used the terminology much better. But it doesn't matter how healthy how great your line is. A quarterback can get hit in all kind of different ways, or he can make a cut and, non-contact and do something to a knee. So as much as he runs, there is that chance. And he did take some strange shots in both the Tennessee and the Ole Miss games. And for Arkansas, Malachi Singleton did what he had to do to lead the winning drive against Tennessee and was very productive in the second half against Ole Miss. So can they get the same type performances out of KJ Jackson or someone else? This year's will be a big question if needed. But I think it's huge. I think staying healthy on defense is going to be really big too, because I don't see them being super deep. Sam Pittman seems encouraged by the fact they're going to be older. So they're a veteran team. There's a lot of, transfer portal guys that are seniors that have been through changes, that have been able to adapt to systems quickly. And that's something Bobby Petrino referenced in spring, was that so many of their guys are veterans. They know how to adjust what they know in football to the terminology Arkansas uses quicker than what freshmen would be able to do. So they were able to go faster in spring. So I don't know. It's just a huge year. We all know how big it is in terms of, Sam Pittman's tenure, how many wins they might need, and just a really hard schedule. So the health of Taylor Green and the health of some key guys on defense, to me, will be real big factors this season.
As you're talking about defense, Tom Murphy with us, Whole Hog Sports Arkansas, Democrat Gazette on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Xavier Story, Cam Ball, the names that I think Arkansas fans pretty familiar with. Xavier had a great season last year. Cam's not only the funniest guy on that team, but he's also a really good football player. I look at a kid like Wooten from Auburn that came over. Tom, who are the other guys that maybe you've keyed in on in the offseason and just the impact that they can have this fall for defense-wise?
Yeah, they feel pretty good about what's going on at cornerback. And, they had some one-year guys last year at cornerback, Marquise Robinson and some others who were good contributors, and it worked out pretty good. They feel like because they have some depth at corner, they might be able to be more creative with the numbers they use at getting after quarterbacks, which we know is really big. And that can be the kind of factor that plays into your season, that you're moving quarterbacks, you're disrupting them, and your cornerbacks are holding up well enough. And so they knew how important it was. And to me, a lot of those transfer cornerbacks are big, and the safeties. I fear a little bit for their depth at safety, but Wooden and Miguel Mitchell and some of these other guys are going to have to, show Scandritt, going to have to show up and stay healthy to give them some protection, some depth at safety as well.
Tom, we'll leave it there, man. We'll chat on Thursday and heading into 4th of July weekend. Hope you have a good weekend before we get to that point.
Same to you and all the listeners. Take care.
All right, Tom Murphy with us. It's 10:18 here on the Morning Rush. We're brought to you by Mock Legal Solutions. They have a second location. Sallisaw, Oklahoma is the place, right across from the Sequoyah County Courthouse. If you need legal representation, you're going through a divorce, custody battle, or maybe you've been involved in a car wreck and you're dealing with insurance companies, a slip and fall case, dog bite cases, I mean, the list of the ways Jackie can help navigate through maybe a difficult time for you is endless. And they also understand you don't have a big retainer laying around, so they're not going to ask you for a big one. Easy to understand flat fees, down payments, and monthly payments to make it affordable to get great legal representation. 479-769-1505 in Fort Smith and in Salisal, licensed in both states. That's Mock Legal Solutions, 479-769-1505 or mocklegalsolutions.com.
Tom was discussing money and the revenue distribution and everything. I thought it was interesting. Listen to John Calipari on My 2 Cents podcast with Penny Hardaway and him and Penny or Anthony, whichever one you want to go with. We're discussing kind of the money aspect of everything.
So I had a parent on a recruiting trip before, at least 2 or 3 I said the same thing. Would you want this kid to go get $200 million after 1 year or stay 4 years and graduate? They said 4 years. I was shocked.
Well, they could say that, and the minute that it's like right now, oh, it ain't about the money.
It's about the money. It's about the money. It's about the money.
I just thought that was kind of enlightening. You don't necessarily hear coaches all the time say that out loud, but they were just very, very open, very, very relaxed. They spent about 30 minutes on Penny's podcast. I don't know if they were in Memphis or if he came to Arkansas for or whatever, but it was a very relaxed. I thought it was cool to have 2 head coaches in college basketball just kind of shooting the you-know-what.
Well, let me be clear. If someone offers my kid $200 million or they can get a 4-year degree, we'll gladly take the $200 million at my house.
Yeah.
What
parent lied? What parent lied to Cal? What
That's
parent
not
lied
hard.
to Cal?
$200 million, please. Gonna get it in 20s. So, yeah. That anyone that would say that, that's dumb. There is no degree worth $200 million.
Well, that parent's nuts. That parent's a liar.
Yeah, you're not being honest, or you're not thinking it through. You're either stupid or you're dishonest. One or the other.
Maybe they just value the education, Tommy.
For $200 million, I can get all the education you want.
Shaq has talked about going back and getting his degree. I think it was
but it's only $100 million after taxes. Okay.
Well,
okay.
Depends on. Yeah, I guess it depends on where you're drafted.
That means if I can find someone to get me a 5% return net, that I only got $5 million a year to spend and never touch the principal. Yeah. We'll take the $200 million.
I think a lot of people are in that camp on that.
So I'd bet on that. That's for sure. Speaking of betting, Oakland Sports up and rolling, and even though the summertime feels a little dry, there's still plenty of Major League Baseball, PGA Golf. We got the Open Championship coming up. Liv still out there playing the WNBA and Caitlin Clark. Plus, you got all the college football and pro football futures as well out there that you can take a look at as well. New customers can earn up to $1,000 in bonus bets. Once you deposit, you're automatically enrolled with Oakland. Each of your first 10 days, you get a second chance on your first bet of up to $100. That totals $1,000. So download the Oakland Sports app and check out all the details. It's Oakland Sports. Bet with a brand you trust anywhere in Arkansas. Bet with Oakland Sports.
Talking with Tom about just keeping Talon healthy. Talon shared what he could potentially learn and do under Bobby Petrino in year number 2. We'll get into that and more in your SEC update next.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963. Lewis Automotive Group, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years.
Adam Schefter here for Vivid Seats, your ultimate destination for all your sports and concert needs this summer. With a game-changing rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every home run and thrilling comeback in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Visit VividSeats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
Am I allowed to humble brag here?
Yeah.
This is the Morning Rush.
Storm season is here. Is your roof ready? Hey, it's Matt Jones. If the weather has wrecked your roof and you need a roofing company you can trust, call my friends at Patriot Brothers Roofing. They have the #1 certainteed roofing company in Arkansas. They are licensed, bonded, insured, and lifetime River Valley residents located in Van Buren.
Thanks, Matt. We are also the only roofing company in the River Valley that installs a full CertainTeed integrity roof system and registers a 50-year warranty directly with CertainTeed. Patriot Brothers Roofing, because your home deserves only the best.
The paint store in Van Buren is still the place to go to when doing the job right really matters. Our unique line of Richards paint products was chosen by me to perform for you. This is Sue, and my 35 years of experience ensures you get the right paint and the right color. That's important to you and me. Thank you for your support. Come see what I'm talking about. 1414 Fayetteville Road, the paint store, Van Buren.
Do you want a fireworks display that will have your kids thinking you're the coolest parent in town? Then listen up. Hey, this is Coach Olenek, but you can call me Doug. I'm one of the co-founders of Fat Boys Fireworks in Van Buren, along with my friend Dwayne Froud. We have the largest kids table in the area with all the novelty kid stuff. Come see what we mean at 5524 Highway 59 North in Figure 5, Arkansas. People tell us all the time, I wish I would have come to Fat Boys first. Fireworks.
Oh, look, fireworks. Did your vehicle get some dents and dings during the recent hailstorms? If so, you don't have to wait months to get it repaired. Evans Body Shop has appointments available now. Our on-site paintless dent repair team is ready to work for you. As always, we offer a lifetime warranty on our painted and paintless dent repair and a complimentary interior detail. Check out our Facebook and website for before and after pictures, reviews, and more. Call or come in today for your appointment, and you'll see why we say
Evans Body Shop, where we meet the nicest people by accident.
Wes, how many people can a large pizza feed?
About 4.
So I should tell Cousin Jeff 1.
Oh, wow. He's a big eater.
The biggest. He once got kicked out of an all-you-can-eat diner because they ran out of food. How many can a small pizza feed?
I'd say 2.
Our small pizza at $15 is a meal for 2? We should advertise this. That goat'll hunt.
Dog.
What you call me?
That dog will hunt.
Wes, dogs are man's best friend. Goats are the true hunters.
Goats?
Billy Goat Jr.'s Grammy was trained to chase squirrels, cats, birds, and rabbits. We could hear her for miles through the brush. And she'd circle them right to us.
You're not serious.
As serious as a meal for 2 for $15.
You're an interesting cat.
What you call me?
A meal for 2 for $15. Eat Jim's RazorbackPizza.com.
Are you a middle-aged man feeling low on energy, struggling with weight gain, a decreased libido, or even battling depression? You don't have to feel this way any longer. Hi, this is Stephen Pittman, a licensed nurse practitioner and expert on testosterone replacement therapy. At Pittman TRT in Fort Smith, our priority is to restore your vitality and energy the way you felt in your 20s. No need to drive an hour or more.
Call Pittman TRT today at 479-274-1747 or check them out online at pittmantrt.com. Pittman TRT. Get back to feeling like your old self again.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
The SEC is the best conference in America.
The tough will survive in this game, and I feel like the SEC is the toughest.
Arkansas is the SEC champion.
You know, every game is a dogfight. We're about the tough there is. Week in and week out, you're going to play some of the best, the biggest, the fastest.
The Hawks have finally had the first SEC tournament championship for Arkansas.
Where opponents' dreams come to die.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush.
It's more than what I expect. You know, every single day, you know, we walk in to a meeting room and it doesn't even feel like I'm in football. I feel like I'm in a classroom, you know, just learning defensive fronts, you know, linebacker alignments, safety rotation, corners, learning why, you know, certain plays work for certain coverages and learning checks and just the freedom that he has. Like, he trusts me with the offense, and that's something, you know, I appreciate and don't take for granted. So I'm always, you know, got to make sure I'm on my P's and Q's. So.
What would it be like to have Bobby Petrino as an actual school teacher? It's one thing to have him as a football coach. That would be, I would guess, the old school approach to teaching, where, you know, teachers could actually yell at the kids without the parents getting mad from time to time. I would guess there would be. You remember, like, again, I don't want to. I want to separate the difference. You know, like if you were talking and then a teacher hit you on the head in the back of the book, like stop talking and stuff. I would guess there would be some like no nonsense type of teaching for Bobby Petrino if he was actually an old school type of teacher.
I think you better sit up straight and pay attention. That's for sure. Better give your best effort. But I don't think he's going to be teaching any algebra anytime soon.
I think he's enjoying football. The late Mike Leach did the class in Pullman, Washington. It was war tactics, if I remember that right. and he did that in the offseason. I don't know if you're necessarily going to pull up the course curriculum at UARC and see that Bobby Petrino's name is next to a class and everything else. But again, we're 60 days out from Arkansas football, basically 2 months. August the 30th will be the Razorbacks' first game against Alabama A&M, and then the following week. I know you had asked the question to me off the air, the Little Rock game and just the setup for that. If you don't sell out the final game, is that considered a success? Is that something that you think?
Well, listen, if you're going to have an in-state school, both of these schools ought to be well represented. Now, I don't think that we're going to see any kind of 50-50 split on the fan base by any stretch of the imagination. But, if you're ever going to fill up War Memorial, if you ever want to do this again at War Memorial, better be full.
My thought was,
because the Hogs ain't coming to Jonesboro.
What's bigger, the game in Memphis? Not in terms of the magnitude of the opponent you're playing, but who do you see more fans at? Do you see it in Memphis, week 4 against Memphis, or do you see him week 2 against Arkansas State and Little Rock?
See more fans what?
In the stadium.
Oh, Little Rock, yeah.
In the Memphis game?
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Well, I think Memphis will show. Memphis fans are going to show up for an SEC opponent.
I'm talking combination-wise. I don't remember what the Liberty Bowl holds off the top of my head, but who do you think, between those two games?
They were renovating that when Arkansas played over there. When was that?
And I think I can't remember if it's going to be ready for this upcoming Liberty Bowl or if it's the following season. But that was literally last year.
Yeah.
The game in,
was
that December, January?
Yeah.
I think it was December.
I think you'll see a bigger number. I mean, War Memorial is still 53,000. I'm expecting over 50,000 there. So yeah, War Memorial would be my answer.
What do you think, Colton?
If it's not full for that game, then we got a problem.
Absolutely. I'm with Tommy on that. If you can't fill it up for what's supposed to be, the last go around, the first
swan
time
song.
you've played, the swan song, the first time you've played football against, your another in-state team like that. If you can't fill it up for that, then they should just blow the place up.
I saw your Miami Dolphins were in a trade this week with Jalen Ramsey. They sent Mika Fitzpatrick, the Steelers did, to Miami, and then you're getting Jalen Ramsey. You like that deal? Dislike that deal for Alabama Crimson Tide?
At first, I was like, this is sort of like going to your boss and saying, hey, we're really tired of this one-ply toilet paper. It's really uncomfortable. It's just unsanitary and unpleasant. But instead of your boss working the numbers to try and get you more, good toilet paper, the quilted stuff, he just says, hey, why don't you grow a fingernail real long and I'll keep a nail file at your desk. It's how I felt originally.
That's a hell of an analogy there, Colton.
Thank you. That's how I felt originally. It's just kind of replacing nothing with something more nothing. But at the end of the day, the Dolphins had to get rid of a big contract for an aging cornerback in Jalen Ramsey. The only issue I have is that you got rid of Jonnu Smith, a good tight end, who became a really good safety valve whenever defenses took away your top two playmakers and Hill and Waddle. So not exactly sure how I feel about it right now. I love having Minka Fitzpatrick back because he's a really good player and he brings that physicality that Miami just sorely lacks.
Speaking of the National Football League, we brought this up earlier. Netflix on August the 25th is releasing America's Team, the Gambler and his Cowboys, on Jerry Jones and the 90s Cowboys teams. I'm excited about this. Not even a Cowboys fan. I wish it was here earlier. I think that's my only complaint about this project, that it's not coming out in July. It's the week.
I would
of
like to have
football.
something right now to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we say, well, people people go on vacation, people do more things outdoors. We don't watch TV on TV schedule anymore. We watch it on demand. Other than live sports and breaking news, everybody DVRs, skips through the commercials, or they watch on Netflix, Hulu, YouTube, some kind of downloadable on-demand format. I think this idea of waiting on this closer to football season, I think you might have higher numbers if they had less competition for things that are available to watch right now. Everybody's looking for some kind of series, show, something new to binge. I would love to binge watch this right now. 4th of July weekend when I'm not out late at night, whatever. Yeah, this would be awesome.
I'm up for that too.
Yeah.
Up for that too.
Yeah. All right, that is your SEC update. It's brought to you by APAC and Standard Materials Group, your number one source for top quality aggregates, asphalt, and ready-mix concrete. And whether you're working on a small residential project or a large-scale commercial job, APAC has got you covered. And, hey, they don't shy away from big jobs or small jobs. They can help handle it all. And their construction consultant services are always there to keep you on the right track. 479-587-3300 for all your rock, asphalt, and ready-mix needs. That's APAC and Standard Materials Group, 479-587-3300.
JT in Hot Springs thinks it's a 70-30 split in Little Rock, and he thinks it's probably the same in Memphis, with Memphis having a few more fans in that game. Again, those games are 2 weeks apart. Arkansas, tough stretch to not necessarily begin the season. Alabama A&M is going to be a cupcake, but to have Arkansas State, Ole Miss, Memphis, and then Notre Dame before SEC play really begins, with the Tennessee Volunteers, I think, being your first road SEC game of the season. You mentioned the Notre Dame game being number one on the list of games at home this fall. What's the biggest road game for this football team?
Texas. Maybe it really isn't, but that's the first name that people are going to spit out. Maybe the biggest road game might be LSU mid-November, just because it may determine bowl eligibility, may determine you win on the road at LSU, and that probably means you've had a pretty decent season that is above average or above. Let me back up, above expectation. So LSU on the road might be another one of those games you go win and you make some real hay there.
I'm not going to say that you're going to win all these games. I just do think it's interesting that 3 of your 4 road games, the teams are featuring new quarterbacks, and Arch Manning, Austin Simmons for Ole Miss, and then also for Tennessee and Joey Aguilar. Again, that does not by any stretch of the imagination means Arkansas is going to win that game, but with the exception of Garrett Nussmeier at LSU, there is going to be a new quarterback that you're facing. Maybe Arch lives up to the hype, maybe he doesn't. I think now I've listened to him. There's a difference between him saying things and then like the betting and just the average college football fan, but he's trying to stay as grounded as possible, but I don't know if there's ever been a more hyped quarterback that hasn't really done much in this season other than Arch. And it's because of his grandfather, who we had on Friday, and his 2 uncles and Eli and Peyton. That's not his fault, but that's just, and especially being the quarterback in Austin, Texas, that is a lot of pressure that he has on him this fall.
100%. Hey, you got a menu plan? What are you doing 4th of July for food?
I don't even know yet. To be honest.
Well, let me give you a hint here. Art's Barbecue with burgers and more will be open on July the 4th from 11 to 4. They're going to close on the 5th on Saturday. Have a little longer weekend, but you can pre-order your holiday family packs right now. Ribs, brisket, pulled pork, all the sides. So listen, if you're like a lot of us that A, I don't want to fire up the grill, B, I don't, or like Ty, don't know how to fire up the grill, let Arts do it all for you. We're talking about burgers and dogs. I don't know if they got hot dogs there. I haven't seen those on the menu, but if you want a great burger on 4th of July, Arts is the place I'd go and take that in as well. That's Arts Barbecue Burgers and More. Pre-order your holiday family packs for 4th of July today, 479-452-2550, and join them as they're open on the 4th from 11 to 4, closed on the 5th at Arts Barbecue on Rogers Avenue, next to Buddy's in Fort Smith.
JT in Hot Springs thinks the Ole Miss the biggest road SEC game. If he wins that, then there's a chance for a good season ahead.
Be a tone setter, too.
I texted him back that I agree with him, Ty, to your point, because of the fact that you're going to be going up against a freshman or a first-time quarterback in his first SEC action. It's a really tight competitive series, outside of the one fluke game last year where we decided not to cover anybody at all.
Yeah, that was tough.
So I would say that that's probably a really good chance for you to walk into Oxford, your first SEC game of the year, on the road and get that W.
Jackson Dart had a career day, and he had not played great against the Razorbacks the previous 2 games, and for whatever reason, he just ate us alive. And that was there was 2 games that Arkansas' defense let us down last year. That game and the LSU game. It's not like Nussmeier had incredible numbers, but they just did the little dink and dunks the entire game.
I think your question was SEC road game, but if I said Memphis might be the most important road game, what would you say to that?
Here's the thing. If they beat Ole Miss week 3, I think they're going to lose at Memphis week 4. And if they lose to Ole Miss week 3, I think they'll beat Memphis week 4. Don't ask me why. That's how I feel. And that's not a bad take because, again, where it's in the schedule, if you do lose to Ole Miss that week 3 game and you don't want to, again, be 2-2 heading back to a battle with the defending national runner-up. So I don't blame you for thinking that at all. It's just, but there's so many. I mean, that's about any SEC schedule, with like the exception of Ole Miss and Missouri. You can point to a team schedule and be like, man, this game's monumental. This game's really important. Texas's schedule is really not as tough. Those three teams, Texas, Ole Miss, Missouri, have been given the gift the past 2 years. It's going to come back and bite them this next season, but they were the lucky recipients of the SEC schedule these past 2 years, with them flipping from home to away.
Yeah. Time to talk about Gaston's? Anything else? You want to talk about Gaston's for a little bit? We were talking about them earlier in the show. I mean, 4th of July, get away, go do something different. Even if you're not going to stay at Gaston's or fish, you can still stop in for breakfast, lunch, or dinner this weekend at Gaston's. So if you're going to be on the road seeing family, and you've heard us talk about it for years, what is this all about? What's that craft guy? I want to go see this first class time, every time deal. All right. Well, call Gaston's at 870-431-5202, and you can have a meal right there. I mean, you don't have to stay on property to dine at Gaston's. So a lot of people ask me that. Do you got to stay there to use the restaurant? Absolutely not. So if you find yourself on the road, seeing family and friends, and you say, you know what, I'd like to have a steak or one of them big burgers or maybe some fresh trout, hey, they can do all that for you at Gaston's. 870-431-5202. Of course, they'd love you to stay. Love to take you out fishing with one of their expert guides, but go check it all out and then maybe plan your next trip. But you're always welcome to dine at Gaston's, but call ahead for reservations. 870-431-5202. Make it part of your weekend. Gaston's White River Resort. A first-class time every time.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963.
Every great team has its core players, but when the season gets tough, adding the right free agent can make all the difference. The same goes for business. At Robert Half, we found that 67% of companies surveyed plan to increase their use of contract talent to handle workload peaks and backlogged projects. With Robert Half's specialized recruiters' experience, combined with our award-winning AI, you can quickly find the skilled candidates you want. At Robert Half, we know talent. Discover how we can help at roberthalf.com/talent.
This is a pretty frequent topic of discussion in that cutthroat Arkansas sports radio market.
This is the Morning Rush.
Dozy Place has now been serving award-winning steaks for over 20 years. Celebrate your special birthday, holiday, person, or just because at Dozy Place. Start with delicious appetizers and your choice of drinks from the largest selection of wines, beer, and liquor in the River Valley. Dozy Place is open Tuesday through Thursday 5 till 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended, so call 784-9111. 784-9111 for Dozy Place, 422 North 3rd Street, Fort Smith.
Save up to $4,000 on select Buick Envisions at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The Buick Envision showcases inspired design with exclusive features in this 5-passenger SUV. Or drive the brand new Buick Envista, a stylish crossover for as low as $399 per month. These are limited time offers. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith or online at harryrobinson.com.
Whether you're opening your first checking account, purchasing your first home, saving for your first big vacation, or opening a new business, First Star Bank offers hometown service with the latest in digital banking technology. Our local team makes banking fast, convenient, and easy. From simple everyday banking to helping you fulfill your dreams, our team is here to guide you every step of the way. First Star Bank. We'll be there through all your firsts. Learn more at firststar.bank or stop by one of our local branches today. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you a middle-aged man feeling low on energy, struggling with weight gain, a decreased libido, or even battling depression? You don't have to feel this way any longer. Hi, this is Stephen Pittman, a licensed nurse practitioner and expert on testosterone replacement therapy. At Pittman TRT in Fort Smith, our priority is to restore your vitality and energy the way you felt in your 20s. No need to drive an hour or more.
Call Pittman TRT today at 479-274-1747 or check them out online at pittmantrt.com. Pittman TRT. Get back to feeling like your old self again.
This is Daryl Johnston with Hashtag Managed IT Services. We are excited to now be part of AAA Business Systems. Hashtag will continue to handle every IT need your business will have, and now, as part of AAA Business Systems, we can handle all of your document printing and storage solutions. Together, we have the expertise to meet all of your office technology needs. Find us online at aaabm.com or call us at 471-1771.
Budweiser, the American lager. Time-honored recipe, true to our original process, brewed using the choicest hops, rice, and best barley malt, delivering great quality beer since 1876. Budweiser, this Bud's for you. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2024 Anheuser-Busch Budweiser Lager Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Here's to you and yours from the friendly folks at In Good Spirits, your upscale liquor store in Fort Smith. At In Good Spirits, they've got what your taste buds are craving, including flavorful wines from around the world, scrumptious brandies and liqueurs, tempting whiskeys and beers, and fine cigars. Treat yourself to the best as you listen to the game. Check out In Good Spirits, 12100 Highway 71 South, across from Riley Farms in Fort Smith.
I want barbecue that's sliced thick, smoked long, and so tender it melts in your mouth. Sides that will fill me up like a twice-baked potato, baked beans, hand-cut fries, okra, Texas toast. You know what I'm talking about? A restaurant where the whole family can go and get a great meal for a great price. Where the owner actually comes to your table to make sure everything tastes great. I'll tell you what I want. I want Jerry Neal's.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
You do that for free.
The worldwide leader in sports.
It was her first call game with my wife, and we ended up on that field. We were in section 104.
Brother, you just turned the light bulb on. You got to go with somebody. At least I go with a winner.
Tommy, they're great.
You're listening to The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson and Tommy Graff.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963.
The preseason polls, you know what they do? They convolute what we're even looking at to where we don't even know why. But I thought this team was good. But they beat, a preseason team that's 12. Well, they beat a 12-ranked team. Yeah, well, that team wanted to be 4-8. Should they have ever been 12? Was that a ranked win? Was it not a ranked win? I think that it throws a little bit of flies in the ointment to a certain degree. I'm getting to a place where it would make more sense to me. Do we need these?
You've been on that camp. That's Dusty Dvorak, Sirius XM. You've been on that camp for a while. Why do we have these? Well, they're sponsored first and foremost, but I think that you and him wholeheartedly agree on these preseason polls, which are set to come out here in a few weeks. And SEC Media Days,
TV wants to be able to say number 6 versus number 3. It creates conversation. But what it also does is it sets an inaccurate benchmark for the college football playoff. And you can say, well, the committee doesn't look at those. Well, maybe they do, maybe they don't. But they're entered into the equation, at least in the minds of the fans, and then there's false hope, false expectations. But what it also does is it takes a team that's outside of the top 25 and makes it damn near impossible to get there, to get at least a top 3 or 4 seed.
Unless you're Texas, and I remember in 2021.
Unless your brand name, I'd agree.
Yeah, 2021, they were unranked. They beat Louisiana Lafayette. And they jumped to like 18 or 21, whatever it was, and then Arkansas beat them in Fayetteville pretty good. They have that luxury that not most other college football teams do not have, which I know annoys all of our audience listening here at 10:47 on a Tuesday. All right, it is a Tuesday, so it's time to get to a little trivia on a CJ's Trivia Tuesday.
Anybody interested in grabbing a couple of burgers?
Those are good burgers, brother.
Archer Burger. My God.
This is CJ's Trivia Tuesday, presented by CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers in Fayetteville and Russellville.
I got the shakes that'll make you quit. I got the fries that'll cross your eyes. I got the burgers that'll... Just the burgers.
When all you do are burgers, they have to be the best.
All right, so on this day in 1982, this player began his record of 2,216 consecutive MLB starts at shortstop. Now, at the time his manager, Earl Weaver, moved him from third base to shortstop, which was considered a questionable decision. Who is that player? It's one of the craziest records in all of sports. Again, on this
unbreakable record, number one, and
Yes.
number two. If you don't know this, I don't know how to help you.
Lewis Automotive Group hotline is open for a $25 CJ's Butcher Boy Burger gift card, 877-377-6963. 2,216 consecutive
This might be the
MLB starts.
easiest question we've ever asked.
I think most people know what it is. Let's see if this person does. Colton, who we got on line number one?
We got Blake and Dardanelle.
All right, Blake. Who is that player?
Cal Ripken Jr.
Cal Ripken Jr. What if he had said?
That might be the.
Would we have give it to him if he just said Cal Ripken or Cal Ripken?
I think
Sr.?
we'd have taken it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Blake, hold on. You have won the $25
That might be.
CJ's.
That was pretty easy right there.
Well,
I remember watching that game that night, and Chris Berman was on the call. I think Joe Morgan was with him, but I may be wrong on that. But when Ripken got to and it made it official in the middle of the game, and he went, the crowd gave him like a 20-minute standing ovation, and Berman just shut up for 20 minutes, didn't say a word.
Did he really
as
not?
Ripken went around the stadium, high-fiving, shaking hands with everyone kind of on the front row of the stadium. It was an awesome moment it was one of those moments. I think I was watching it with my dad. It was like one of those things that you weren't going to miss it. You knew it was going to happen. Everyone was tuned in that night. It was an awesome moment of history.
I think about when I saw this that started today. I think about crazy records within sports. Now, one is it's less funny. It's the late Bill Russell winning 11 championships in 13 years. I mean, that's just unheard of. To win that amount of times in a 13-year stretch, and was close in the other 2 years. The other one being Wade Boggs drinking 107 beers during a day.
Hello, Charlie.
Oh, you're the ghost of Wade Boggs. He confirmed that.
I still think that's
okay.
A fishtail.
Well, so the legend is apparently he drank 73 of those beers on that cross-country flight. Some said 50, 60, 70, but he confirmed it was 107 that day. So you don't believe
Stop doing the math. No, I don't believe that. No, I don't believe that. So.
I think those are the two. Like, you've got one that's more sports related, and then about an athlete that's still considered a record when it comes to that. Those are the two that stand out to me.
Yeah,
and then
that
of course,
Wilt Chamberlain's record, I don't believe that one either. The math don't work. So, and I'm not talking about 100 points. So.
I thought that's what you were going to. Dirty old
that
man.
one I do believe.
Yeah, the stories that some of his teammates shared on those flights were interesting.
Yeah. So that's all right. You want to talk about CJ?
Oh, yeah. CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers, #1 place to get a burger, fry, or shakes in Russellville or in Fayetteville. You can stop by and see Keith and his team. Get the fry sauce. I always encourage people to do that at both locations. Tommy and I will vouch for not just the burgers, but also the chicken sandwiches in Northwest Arkansas. Keith and his team are always whipping up something good. And, again, you always talk about the seasoning you can take home with you.
Yep.
Did you ever get a bottle of it?
Yeah, I went by there. They gave me a bunch of it. They didn't have any bottled. They just made me a big styrofoam
There
cup
you go.
of it. So, yeah.
CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers. When all you do are burgers, they have to be the best. And let me tell you, they are at CJ's.
All right, What's Your Beef Wednesday tomorrow, brought to you by Richard's Country Meat Market in Fayetteville. So whatever's just irking you in sports, we'll talk about that coming up tomorrow in the Morning Rush. If you're looking to spruce up your existing home or build a brand new one, you can trust the experts at Farm Credit of Western Arkansas to help you choose the right financing option that is best for you. Go to myaglender.com. That's myaglender.com, or drop by any of Farm Credit's 25 locations today and get started on building more family memories.
All right, halftime coming up with Phil Elson and Matt. Actually, Matt's off today and tomorrow, so we'll just be Phil Elson and Big C taking you the next 3 hours, followed by by Ruskin and Zach later on today. Just a reminder, if you missed any of our conversation with Tom Murphy or Bruce Stan or the other stuff we discussed today, you can find it in the Bud Light Morning Rush podcast. Just search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts, and also find it on hitthatline.com and our Hit That Line Now app powered by Taco Bell. So for Colton Little and Tommy Kraft, I'm Ty Richardson signing off here on a Tuesday. It's been a solid Morning Rush.
Since 2009, the Arkansas Scholarship Lottery has provided more than $1 billion in scholarships.